And here we go. Good evening, everybody. It is, Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. And it is time for our next installment of TED Trek Wednesdays here on Live Long and Podcast as we continue our mission to watch every original series episode, not in order. The title episode this week is Season 3, Episode 8, The Empath, or Episode 12, if you go by airing order. Like a fool. Let's bring in the title, the namesake of this podcast, my dad, Ted. How are you doing tonight, Dad?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
That's good. You ready to talk about Jem?
Jem, the empath, yes.
She's truly, truly outrageous. Truly. All right, let's bring in next our esteemed panelist, Jody Simpson, here to talk about this episode. How are you doing tonight, Jody?
I'm doing.
You're doing. And last but not, as a fellow Pisces, you should be feeling for the empath.
I didn't dig it.
No, I didn't think so. And then moving on, lastly to Adam Woodward. How are you doing tonight, Adam?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
I'm doing well. Welcome. How you feeling?
I was where Ted was on Sunday. I had my second shot.
Oh.
And
yeah,
man,
I had mine yesterday.
Feeling good?
Which one did you get?
Which one did I get, or which one did
both of you?
Yeah. So yeah, you're a mixer.
Yeah, AZ and
Moderna?
Moderna. Both times, not so good.
I was a double Moderna.
I'm a double Moderna.
Adam, did you have more problem with the AZ or the Moderna?
I had different trouble. It was anyway. It doesn't matter. But long and short, it was not. It was just as painful.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Yeah.
I'm vaxxed. I'm good to go. I'm going flying soon. 2 weeks.
There you go. Well, Canada inching its way out of this pandemic bit by bit. Here, let's jump into the episode and break this down. I don't even know if I've ever really seen this before. If I have, it's definitely not been a full watch. Dad, what's your feeling about the empath?
It was kind of interesting. It was okay. It's kind of a weird aliens, and they kind of come and go and kind of.
Yes, we never get their names. Well, they were told that they're called the Vians, and they kind of look like the Telosians' meaner cousins, maybe.
Yeah, their foreheads are more sculpted.
Yeah, and they got that Thanos.
I just called them the ball sack aliens.
Yeah, they got the ball sack chin like Thanos. Yeah, and they were quite the thing here. But yes, this is a season 3 episode, Jody. Your favorite season, I believe, as depicted by your average. It is the lowest of your 3 averages at 5.1.
Oh. Look at all these stats we have.
Your highest on season 1. You love the season 1.
Really?
So
I would have thought season 2, but anyway.
It's math, stats. It's right here.
Well, I wouldn't doubt them.
Yeah. Again, another episode where Kirk and the away team trapped on a planet. Scotty's running the ship, but he's nowhere to be seen. He's got some other issue. And so the 3 guys are kind of isolated and they're kidnapped. And, they've been through times like this before. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All too often.
This happens a lot. What I thought I was kind of peeking ahead to some of the trivia. What I thought was interesting was that this is DeForest Kelly's favorite episode. Now he has a bit more to do in it.
It's very centric to him. There's a lot going on with
his character sacrifices himself to go to the torture chamber and everything else. But maybe we'll break this down. Adam, we haven't really heard from you yet, other than a couple of comments, and maybe this wasn't your favorite episode. Did you like things about it? Maybe we'll find out. Let's come back to the beginning.
Did we lose him?
No.
Are you there, Adam? Can you talk?
He's not moving.
No, he's not.
Oh, I thought he was just really taking his time before he answered. Okay. He'll be back. But let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about what the premise of this episode was. We kind of broke it down quickly. So they've gone to a planet system.
I can give you his answer because he texted
Sure.
me.
What do you think Adam would say?
He texted me. I don't know if you can see this.
Is that like a John Krasinski meme?
Yes, basically.
GIF?
Says, the empath,
the empath.
12 minutes in.
And he's falling asleep.
He's falling asleep.
We're actually 5 minutes in. He looks like he's refreshing now. He'll probably pop on in a moment. But the premise is they're going to a star system that's about to go. The sun is about to go nova, and they're in for a routine evacuation because there's some kind of research station here with a couple random scientists. But it's not a very busy spot. And they find it abandoned. It's covered in dust. And they don't know. They're like, what the hell? So they play the tape. Oh,
there we go. All right, I had to stretch out my window here a bit.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sometimes when I'm looking off screen, I don't even know when these things happen. But well, we'll come to see them later. Here's a photo of the two scientists. What was this? What are their names? Linky and Ozeba. They had a rough day. But they yeah, so we saw that like they were like, it's like there's some kind of loud noise, and then they disappeared. And then the exact same thing happens to Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, is exactly what they saw on the tape, yet they're confused it's happening to them. Which, a point off for that. Anyway, so they wake up in a very dark, like it's all painted black. And I think this is not the first time they've done a set like this, but I thought it served its purpose well, like sort of the void that they were in, this kind of blackness. They said they were 400 feet below the surface, or 121 meters, and some kind of transporter got them there. And what now? But they find the title character of this episode, Jem. Let's bring up Jem. Where's she? There she is. Jem, who never has a line in this episode. She never speaks. I thought she actually does a pretty good job considering she can't speak in this episode. Although what you'll make of that is something. But you can see that, like when Kirk first approaches her, he's like, where the hell are we? What's going on? And she's like, whoa, you need to chill. You need to calm down. But he doesn't understand her because she doesn't speak. And he goes, they don't have any vocal cords, or more specifically, McCoy observes with his tricorder that they have no vocal cords. Is Adam back yet? No.
He's rebooting, he said.
Okay. And so then we meet those guys, the Vians, the angry Telosians with the ball sack chins.
The old video game recorder items.
Yeah, they're very mysterious for most of this episode. We don't know what the heck they're up to, what the extent of their powers are, but but they're much like the Telosians were in the original pilot of Star Trek. They kind of like seem like they're intellectually superior, although these ones speak more. They don't like seem to communicate with telepathy. And for the moment they show up, Kirk and Spock and McCoy are not having such a good time with them. They put them into a force field where they can't move, and they're like, the more we resist, or the more you resist the force field, the more it will resist you. How infuriating!
Dude, I just gotta step up for just a sec, okay?
All right,
I'll be right back.
Everybody's leaving.
Yeah, it was like this is
soon. It's just going to be Dave Mater talks about.
This is truly outrageous, Jody.
It is truly outrageous. I can't believe you.
This is my reference to the show
Jem. Jem, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is going to resonate. She was true.
Probably not with your dad
or Adam.
Adam probably knows what it is.
He shows on Synergy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, there he goes. Anyway, so they're messing around with them. I thought it was actually kind of more of a horror story, Jody. Like like they're kind of trapped in the dungeon. But we've kind of seen this before. Like it's kind of like Cat's Paw and other episodes where they've been sort of lured into a trap or some kind of experiment.
Better episodes. You forgot the better part.
The better part, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, well, early on, we see that Jem is able to like cure his little cut that he got earlier on when he fell on the staircase when he was getting, I can't hear, and teleported away. So that's the first demonstration of Jem's powers, that she can cure you or she can heal your injuries by going with your nervous system. And that's, I don't know, as a concept, what do you think? Like of just this idea?
This whole episode on paper sounds good.
Right.
Like it sounds like it'd be very interesting, all that. The problem is what it turned out to be was 2 ballsack aliens, Star Trek, and mimes. That's all it was for the entire episode, was just that.
Yeah.
it's just it's a snooze fest. I'm sorry. Like there were some really cool concepts I thought in here, but for the most part it was literally like watching mimes and Star Trek mixed together. It was just
Yeah. Adam, we didn't really get your take yet, but
Dave, I go in empath, I'm there. And that look that she's given right now, I wanted to just throttle her. It's that sad looking eyes and no dialogue and
that music.
The music. Thank you, Ted. The music. Like
that's
what I said.
Yeah.
I sent that. Was it 12 minutes in or something? I said
14, I believe it says. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that she's not a pearl of great price?
No, she's. Like again, great ideas and great like. There's so maybe because we're spoiled, and this is 1968 or whatever the hell year it was. Yeah, but like it's just there's so many other great stories that have maybe come out of this that were generated because of this episode that later on Star Trek picked up and developed. But have an empath that's fantastic, but make her talk, do something. Like, it was painful.
Yeah, I think that the whole mute aspect I think is maybe more of a hindrance, in retrospect. Although I think she does the best with what she's given.
There's nothing wrong with what she's doing. I'm sure what she was told to do is exactly what she did, and I think she did it pretty well. But it's such a boring episode. Like you're mentioning, this is the cookie cutter kind of episode, and there's episodes similar to this in Star Trek, like Cat's Paw, for instance, being one of them. Much better episode than this. So it's obviously it's the 3rd season. I get it. Obviously the darkness is probably to save money on sets and shit, but I think the environment looks pretty cool. It always
you guys make the two Bions.
Yeah, they were interesting too. Even the beating scene with McCoy, that was good. Like again, that was interesting. He was like. It would have been actually cooler if they saw it happen. You only saw a little bit of it because he come back in his rooms and his face is all. But again, anyway, we can talk more about. I guess as you want to go through the show, Dave. But.
Like we're actually like almost halfway through the story in terms of what's happening because we just got to the part where they meet Jem. She heals his first wound. That he had that cut on his head, and just we were talking about maybe like what's the concept of an empath and being able to heal injuries or take your pain away, like different than how it's presented with like Deanna Troi and other empaths we've met in Star Trek even.
Well, this episode kind of reminds me a bit of the episode in Next Gen where they all get abducted and they're all remembering the sounds of the room.
Oh yeah, well it's got that like the horror.
It's kind of got that little horror element, which it was kind of intriguing to begin with, and I'm like, when is it going to start? When is it going to start? And it's like it never really started.
Well,
like,
I think the scariest part is what happened to these 2 scientists guys because you see the tubes are there for McCoy and Spock and Kirk too, and they're going to be put into some kind of a museum or torture test.
I wonder if this is where the Simpsons got it from, where they have Krang and Krotos, or whatever his name is.
Kang and Krotos, yeah.
Hanging Kodos, yeah, and they always put people in tubes and they have them on their spaceship and stuff. I wonder if that was stolen from Star Trek.
I wouldn't be surprised. And to your point, Adam, those jumpsuits are never looking good.
Well, you work with
actually,
I
didn't mind those ones.
You're okay with the jumpsuit?
Which ones are you talking about? The guy,
the scientists.
Oh no! I didn't like the no. Talking about the guys with the big heads. I like those.
Yeah, I don't get what your guys' hang up is with the jumpsuits. Like, who cares? Like, what are they going to be naked in that tube? Like, they got to put something.
I just don't think it looks good.
They're not going to put something fancy in something that's people in.
I just think pants and shirts should be two separate items.
Well, okay. Well,
I don't think they should be like attached.
Not if you're working, their regular clothes are underneath that. That's what they wear when they're on the job.
Yeah, like
clean.
Yeah, like a lot of mechanic shops use those things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's their wear
clothes underneath
for all their science business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they had a. Do you think those were real people, like, or were they mannequins?
I think they're the actors. Yeah, they're just standing still.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look hard enough, you'll watch them moving around.
Yeah, more mimes. We lost Adam again, but anyway.
Did we? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, truly outrageous. Where were we?
He might have been beamed up by the Vions.
Yeah, the Vions, and then they took Kirk away. Remember, because there was that whole part where they think they escape because the Vions make them think that they can escape.
They took Adam away.
Maybe. Yeah.
They took Adam away. They're experimenting on him right now, and then they get to the surface. But it kind of like, we forgot about to mention the fake Scotty.
Yes, that was a hologram, I think,
or a fake mirage.
Scotty, yes.
A mirage, yeah, hologram.
Yeah,
same idea, right?
I don't know. I thought that was an okay part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk's hair, though, I bet he was really pissed off about his hair on that scene, eh?
I wasn't taken away.
When Scotty's got that look in his, like the fake Scotty's got that like evil look in his eye. And I'm like, ooh, evil Scotty. We never got much of that.
What was the line McCoy used in this one? He goes, I'm a doctor, not a...
Coal miner.
Coal miner, yeah.
Right. But this whole thing here where Kirk's like, they're like, okay, these three of you can go, but one of you has to stay. And Kirk's like, okay, I'll be the one to stay. And then it's like it's a trick, and then they teleport Spock, McCoy, and jam away, and then Kirk ends up getting tortured for a bit. They put him on the rack, make sure to take his shirt off, but to make sure not to show us anything below the neckline. I don't know if you noticed that, but is this?
Yeah, they did. They showed his whole upper chest and arms.
It was close up from the front.
Yeah.
Well, when they had him hanging, did anybody not buy the fact that he's in shackles hanging from them?
Oh, he's probably standing on a platform. But,
yeah, because it was like the chains were super loose, and it's
Well,
what's going on here?
It looked like the shot from behind didn't match the shot from the front.
Exactly. I think the shot from behind isn't even Shatner.
No, it's probably
I don't think so.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think it's a gymnast. That's what a gymnast does on the parallel rings.
This is season 3 Shatner. This is Shatner dealing with the divorce. He's got to get a body double.
Yeah. I think that was an Olympic gymnast who was from behind, who was holding the two rings, which is an Olympic sport, and they do twirls and stuff in the rings.
Right. The thing that I also read, not to circumvent the fun facts, but the director of this episode, a man by the name of John Erman, who he only directed this episode, and he talked about how he hated he hated working with Shatner and Nimoy specifically because they were all about their close-ups and their angles and whatever. And he's like, I just want to like, it's the biggest insult to the director ever, to tell me how to shoot but they'll be like, no, my character wouldn't do that, or my character wouldn't stand here. And he's like, screw this, I'm out of here. Season 3, it wasn't much more Star Trek to come, but I thought that was interesting. Not that surprising. Okay, Adam, are you going to be okay? Let's see.
Do you think that solar storm that happened to the Enterprise was set up by the Vions?
Well, no, I think that was already happened because the planet's about to go supernova, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the sun. The sun is going. Okay, and this is okay because we are going to skip ahead here, but like the whole plot of these, what are they called? The Vians. Okay, so the sun is going to go nova. There are several planets apparently in this solar system that are inhabited, and the Vians have the ability to save one of those species, and they're trying to determine if Gem's species is worthy.
Yes, that's what I gathered.
But who's unworthy?
Well, they never got a chance to prove themselves. At least,
yeah, like I just like I like and why doesn't the Federation know about this if they had a station here? And I'm confused by the whole premise or what the heck was going on. And I think that for me that makes the episode not as strong because I just don't understand. I don't fully understand the motivations of the Vians.
It's a lot of loose ends here.
A lot of loose ends, yeah.
A lot of loose ends.
But I think that on the other hand, what I do like about this episode is that Kirk, McCoy, and Spock, they all have that whole self-sacrificing aspect, which makes them more noble, right? And,
that was very Star Trek.
Yeah, they're the teachers to like all of them were willing to put themselves in harm's way for the others.
Look at that picture of Kirk there. His hands are above his head, but when you show him from the back, his hands are flat.
Are out, right?
Yeah, are out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Very sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they come back from that, and then she heals his wounds, and then they say, well, but if she could kill herself if her self-preservation instinct is greater than her willingness to heal you, but we don't really know. And then this is when they show up and they say, okay, we're taking one of you, either Kirk or either Spock or McCoy. If we take McCoy, there's like 87% chance you die. But if we take Spock, there's a 93% chance. You guys got to tell me when that happens. I'm not always looking at. 93% chance Spock would go insane.
Only 93, eh?
Yeah, but 7% chance he doesn't.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So then it's like then Kirk's like, no, if anyone's gonna be making the call, it's me. But then McCoy hits him with the hypo spray, which I enjoyed. And then Spock's like, good plan. But now I'm in command. He's asleep. I make the call. Right? And then McCoy just sprays him also. He's like, oh yeah? There he goes. And
you keep buzzing out tonight.
I don't know what's going on.
That's sort of bad connection.
It's just sometimes it happens. I get that too. Or nothing.
I need an empath.
You need an empath for your computer.
Look at that. Look at that face.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
It's sad. It speaks with its eyes. And we were just talking about the whole self-sacrifice, and we got to the part, Adam, where McCoy had hypo-sprayed both Kirk and Spock so he could sacrifice himself. And I love when Spock goes, that was not ethical.
But he didn't really hyper him. He just faked it.
Who did?
McCoy. He just got enough of him just to get him out for a few seconds.
Enough that when they showed up, he would be the one to go. Yeah. Plus, it also made sense for McCoy to go because they needed Spock to fix the device they stole to teleport around or whatever.
Yes, that he figured out.
Yeah, Spock's got to do a fixer thing. So anyway, they take McCoy away, and then they're beating the hell out of McCoy. It seems like he had a rough day on that rack. When we come back, he has severe heart damage, congestion. His circulatory system is in danger of collapse. His spleen and liver are hemorrhaging, and his kidneys have a 70% failure rate. So not looking good. And it looks like this might be McCoy, but this ends up being the ultimate test. This is what the whole episode was about: whether Gem would sacrifice herself to save somebody else? Like, would she give up her own life? I don't understand, but I guess what there's explained to us in this episode is that's what the foundation of a good society is.
I guess, yeah.
Says the Vians, who clearly don't have compassion.
Well, you don't know if they have compassion. They don't have compassion for their subjects, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Well, because they say, like, hey, you can save McCoy. And they're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
They kind of go back and forth. They're like, we don't take any pleasure in this, doctor. This is all part of our science experiment. And then and other times, they're just like, they're kind of indifferent to the well-being of these guys. So, like, what I guess their villainy is a little bit up and down. And this goes on a really long time, I thought. Like, she kind of starts saving him.
Oh, God, yes.
But then she collapses. And then I thought it was over, but it wasn't. It's like, no, you have to, like, do part 2 of, like, the healing. Because we see her absorb some of it, and then she kind of corrects for it.
Yeah.
Right? So it seemed like, maybe she can heal him in increments.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just I don't know.
It was a much bigger fix than what she had to do with Kirk.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it was a bigger fix.
The whole thing where they had to get out of the force field, and Spock says it's about our emotions. So if we suppress our emotions, we can get out. Was that mean that Spock was feeling emotional?
Then Spock should have already been out.
Yeah, shouldn't he be like default out?
Yeah.
Should have, but he must have been having emotions.
He must have been
showing through.
It must have been. Yeah.
It does do it once in a while.
And then when it's all over, Kirk just like tells them off. He says, like, you guys suck. You guys don't have love and compassion.
Yeah.
You're nothing but intellect. And if they are nothing but intellect, who are they to decide who gets to be saved and not saved? And that's what sometimes with these like advanced species, they are not advanced. They are primitive in a lot of ways. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, here's the force field part here.
There you go.
Hopefully we'll keep Adam for more than 1 minute.
Adam, before you drop off again, what you think about the ending?
The ending was good. Look, I don't hate this episode by any means. There's a lot of good to it. There's like good acting. Because they weren't depending on a great like visual story for sure. It was dark. It was. I mean, I'm sure you covered that off. I didn't hear it. There was some. The storyline was good. I just don't like the fact that they didn't use the empath to, I think, what she could have been, the full use of her. Disappointed in that because I think she's probably a fine actress, and we just didn't get to see anything except exaggerating, emotions. I like the whole experimentation type thing that people, or this is standby, from age-old horror science fiction to what it is now. I mean, you get captured, and you're experimented on in some way. And the whole thing about Star Trek, the Starfleet officers being held to a higher regard because they all care about each other and all would step in front of a bullet for each other. That's that's what Star Trek is. And I think it sort of exhibited in this episode. So there was lots of good in it. It's just, it was boring.
Right.
Yeah. Visually, I think it's a really cool episode. I think there's a lot of really neat lighting and some really cool effects and stuff like that. So I think from that aspect, it's nice.
Right. And I always get a kick out of how Scotty has to take the ship away. I think that's the funniest thing. And how, all right, sir, I'll be back, and he's gone, because of the solar rays.
He's like, we got a solar rays. We can beam you up. And he goes, don't. I'm like, you should definitely say yes. This is season 3. You know better. You should definitely just beam up. You should not allow yourself to be stranded on this planet.
But he's always got to go somewhere. He's got like a ship to rescue or solar rays to avoid, or something's going to happen. And there he goes. Yeah. There he goes. Scotty, I got it, sir. And he goes.
Yeah, he's like, no problem. I could take it. I could get her out of here. And then there was like a couple scenes, right, where, or at least one scene where Scotty's talking to Sulu, and he's like, yeah, this is going on longer than we even thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
We said that about the episode.
Right.
Maybe that's what they were talking about. Yeah.
Right. So and just when they like float away here at the ending, like I thought that was a kind of just a weird ending.
That is all right.
You like that?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of different.
Visually, I think the episode was good.
All right. What about the final scene up on the bridge where they get back and they said they who would have thought in this big old galaxy we run into Jem? Truly outrageous.
Like again, there's that conversation with Kirk's grin, the moral of the story, and let's get on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Right. They reference the Bible here with the pearl of great price, which is from Matthew 13:45, which has something to do with like entering heaven, which I doesn't think like it actually fits here. But McCoy is pleased that the strength of human emotion overcame the captivity by the dispassionate intellectual Vians. And Scotty says, the Vulcans, we need to tell the Vulcans about this.
Yeah.
And then Spock throws some shade at him and goes, yeah, I'll give it a lot of thought. I'll give it the due consideration it deserves. And then they all laugh and they go away. Warp Factor 2, the end. Another installment. Maybe some fun facts are in order.
Okay, who's got it?
Well, I have some, I guess. This is the only episode in which first act credits open on a completely black background.
Yeah, like it was even putting up the title card tonight. It was like you felt like this one is gonna have like a scary mystery to it. Plus, it also had the shot of McCoy being tortured. So,
sorry, I wasn't totally prepared here. Uhura and Chekhov do not appear in this episode. There you go.
There's no time for them.
No, they had time. Trust me. Sound effects of the Villians laboratory were previously used in Norman's lab in Star Trek: The Original Series, I, Mud, which I know is one of Ted's favorite episodes. Any episode with that rascal.
Mm-hmm.
The preview of this episode shows Jem healing the wounds done by jump cuts rather than as fades.
Harry Mudd.
Harry Mudd, exactly.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Indeed. So Leonard Nimoy and Catherine Hayes, which was the lady who played Jem, were also cast together in Night Gallery's She'll Be Coming For You, Season 3, Episode 10 from 1972. So they've done other TV together, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. In Star Trek: The Original Series, Turnabout Intruder from 1969, Kirk, in Janice Lester's body, mentions the event of the Empath in trying to convince Spock of a mind switch. So they reference it later on in the season. What else do we got here? I know there's a couple here that Dave's already spoiled, so we're not going to bother with those ones, I guess.
Well, okay, but I don't know if Adam heard that one about the director.
Oh, well, you better say it again then.
Yeah. Adam.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy and Bill Shatner, they were hated by this director. He said that Lenny and Billy were problems to work with. They were a nightmare. He said.
Nightmare.
What does he say here? That they wanted to like have their own camera angles, and they were like, "You need to do this." He says, "They go, oh no, my character wouldn't do that." And he said this was the ultimate put down for a director. So he said, Mr. Shatner and Mr. Nimoy seemed to be in conflict. They struggled over better camera positions and made the life difficult for the director.
Well, and Kirk was also going through a divorce at this time too, so
yeah,
I'm sure he was already kind of bitchy.
Nimoy was dealing with alcoholism, but that's but they wanted their close-ups.
All right. So the third season of Star Trek was famously only greenlit after viewers' pressure made by the NBC network change their minds after they originally planned to cancel the series after the second season. One of the conditions is that NBC insisted that they finally commissioned a third season was for the production company to implement cuts to the production budget of 25%, hence the black background probably. This resulted in the production design shortcuts, such as reusing footage, props, and sets from previous episodes, as well as purported drop in the quality of some of the scripts. Yes, I would say so.
Do you think that Jem has no lines because they can't afford to pay her?
Maybe they didn't want to pay her. Yeah, maybe she's. maybe she's in there as like a stand-in.
She didn't have a talking position.
Yeah. These budget cuts were particularly noticeable in this episode, one of the last of the third season. Well, unless you're Dave and you disagree with that. With the production budget of the entire season 3 drew to a close, the producers were forced to creatively save money by implementing minimal set design in the laboratory scenes where much of the story takes place. Hence why these scenes are filmed against a black backdrop and reuse slightly redressed alien desert planet surface previously seen in Star Trek, the original series, The City on the Edge of Forever.
Oh, it felt like 10 episodes, among others. There it is.
Yeah, among others.
Hey, I've got a question. Like at the end of, like, and I haven't read this or anything, but at the end of Star Trek, when the season 3 wrapped up and they weren't renewing, like these guys went on to other jobs and other acting, and when in the 70s did they sort of feel like this was something bigger?
I don't know.
Dad, you might be the best qualified to answer that.
I was born then, so.
I don't know.
Well, me too.
I think it probably came back on reruns, because every so many years, probably 8 years or so, a new generation of kids comes along, and then they can start rerunning it again, right? So it's probably kind of what it was. It was brought up to the next generation. So I'd say.
Like I remember reading about the movement to get either it rebooted or a movie made, but that was like late 70s, right? Or no, the motion picture was 79.
It kind of happened over the whole decade of the 70s, because after they canceled the show,
because they were trying to get it made.
They went into the cartoon, and then they were going to make a new live action show. But that eventually, when Star Wars came along, they said, no, we need to do a movie instead. And that's what Star Trek: The Motion Picture was.
What year was the first movie?
79.
So I remember 10 years. Yeah.
I went to the Burlington Mall to see that with my mom and dad. I remember that.
I remember that theater.
Oh, and the theaters used to be
at the mall.
Well, now it's a walkway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where the theater was?
And Byway used to be across the way.
That's right.
I only went to that theater a couple times before they.
There was only 3 cinemas in it.
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but 1979 Star Trek: A Motion Picture, V'ger, and lots of close-ups of the Enterprise. But yeah, it was
like that's model porn, that movie.
A 25-minute opening scene.
Right. Yeah, and this aired on like Fridays, I think, mostly in NBC. Yeah. So I don't know how many people saw these original run.
Yeah, I just wonder, like when it'd be interesting to know, and I'm sure it's written somewhere, when the cast of the original series, wow, this is like now we're bigger than we were when it was big in the 60s, like.
Yeah.
Well, I know in the mid 70s, there in the one book that I read, which was about Leonard Nimoy, they were talking about trying to get him to sober up to go to conventions. So in the 70s, so obviously it was big enough that they're having conventions.
Yeah, I began to love this show. Like I love Star Trek at Wrath of Khan. When that came
82.
82, yeah.
But my uncle was showing me original series episodes because he was 7 years older than me. In the 70s, I remember that too. But I remember me loving the episode or show. Wrath of Khan was the game changer for me. Loved it.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, it was probably Voyage Home, like the whale one.
Yeah.
I think is the one that connected me the most with it.
Yeah, Voyage Home is probably, I think it was probably the first one I actually saw. Yeah. And then I went back and watched the other ones, remembering being disappointed in the first one, even back then. And then I remember they did a free preview of the movie channels. Remember when there's like channels that were just movies?
The Super Channel
and all those, yeah. And they did a preview, and I remember the free preview had Undiscovered Country on, and I've never got to see it. So, or something like that, yeah. Or it was like the first time I got to watch it on TV or something. Actually, no, I did go to see that in the theater. So,
Undiscovered Country was the only one I actually saw in the theater of the Kirk movies, because I was. But I remember that.
That was the only one I saw in the theater too. So,
yeah, it would have been Christmas '91, so ish.
Yeah, it would have been around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other trivias?
Not that I'm willing to bother to talk about.
All right, let's get to the ratings. Dad, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 6.9.
Oh, Ted, you are far too generous.
I know. It was good acting by the empath girl. We're not talking.
I'll give it like a 7.3. It's fine.
Wow.
6.5 for me.
I'm way off on you guys.
Where you at?
I'm like 5. Like it's, and that's only for the visual and the girl acting. And some of the McCoy stuff was actually, you know what? Let's do 5.5. 5.5.
McCoy was good.
McCoy was good. Yeah.
He was the only one not asking for new camera angles. So,
and Kirk didn't find a way to sleep with Jem either.
He wanted to though. You could tell. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
6.
man.
He likes them.
Six-
He likes
six.
when they can talk though.
He likes that better. 6.6 between the four of us tonight. A 6.6 also an IMDb.
Really?
With a few so we're
Right
not
on the
that
money.
far. Right on the money. And Joyce Muscat wrote this episode. I'd almost go as far as to say it's kind of a little bit of a McCoy focus.
It's more of a McCoy, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that. And that brings us to the place where we pick our next episode.
So who picked this one?
I think Adam did. Didn't
No.
he?
Well, I think we all just said we got to watch him anyway. So what the hell?
We have to
I
watch
see.
them. So let's bring up the list. Maybe we'll stick out of season 3 though. So let's go up to we only have 4 from season 2 left.
How many do we got in season 1?
Season 1, we have a few more. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I know that one. I don't want to watch that one. Well, we should probably do a season 1 episode, right?
We'll go season
even it
1?
out. So don't do Squire. Don't do Squire. I don't know. Enemy Within, maybe?
The Enemy Within.
That sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm writing it down, Jody, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a message on Monday.
Isn't that the one
what
where
episode was it?
Isn't that the one where Kirk splits into like a good version and a bad version of himself or something?
Oh, mirror, mirror.
I think it is, yeah.
Like there's off the transporter, there's like a good Kirk and a bad Kirk, and then they have to be like reintegrated. Or
Yeah,
something?
it's almost like
I like this one.
yeah, I'm almost positive that's the
We
one.
can make fun of Kirk next week. This is good.
Yeah, I believe that's what that episode is.
Well, I'm about to figure it out for you, so I'm just going to get the synopsis here.
All right.
Okay. Where did it go? Okay. A transporter malfunction strands Sulu and others on a frigid planet and splits Kirk into 2 what is it? Antithetical people?
Antithetical.
Well, you know.
Anti-ethical?
No, it's not ethical. It's
Antithetical.
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 Antithetical. Yeah, let's go with that. Whatever. I'm not a scholar.
I remember when Sulu was stranded and it was 50 or 75 below or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one with the dog that's dressed up. I remember this one now. This one's awesome.
With the horn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great Star Trek meme, and they go, "Never forget that this once passed for an alien."
Yeah, it's just a dog with a like lion outfit on and like a
thing out on the dog before they did it to Kirk, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it wasn't even season 3.
No, it's like one of the earliest episodes. It's like the 4th episode or something.
They shaved the dog's tail though.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal. All right.
That made him alien.
Animal
All right.
abuse.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna close the book here on the Empath. Everybody's sort of so episode, it felt like. And we only have 18 to go, and we'll be coming back with The Enemy Within, which sounds more promising for next Wednesday.
Well, just that dog alone.
Just that dog alone. And Kirk scratching his face and whatever else he's doing in that episode.
There's great close-ups and great lighting in this episode. We're gonna have fun.
The close-ups where it's like,
show off your acting, Bill. Show us what you can do. He's like, oh, I'll show you. The enemy within. So that would be Mr. Shatner. Also, on Tuesday nights, we do Star Trek Deep Space Nine rewatches. We do. And here on Live Long and Podcast. Last night we did, it was kind of a 2-parter. We did Improbable Cause and The Die Is Cast, which is the closest thing to a 2-parter, non-2-parter possible. We had Jeff and I's cousin second cousin, Davin Skellhorn, from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. He was on.
Definitely a Nova Scotia name for sure.
Yeah. He was on last night. He's got his own podcast, Star Trek podcast, known as Locutors of Trek, where they do some really smart Trek podcasts over there. So check that out on Spotify and everywhere you listen to your podcasts. Plus, we do Star Trek Radio Theater, although we don't have a production set for this weekend. We do have many in the can. Check out our catalog there, plus all our other shows. And we have our other channel, which is two other channels, which is one's called Super Mater Brothers Podcasting, where we cover shows that aren't Star Trek. Jeff and I, which is like, Marvel and Tiger King and Netflix shows and all kinds of different things we've covered. Check that out if you don't know about it. And our third channel, Trivial Debates, which is our monthly channel where we argue about movies, TV, sports, and more. Our June show coming this Sunday. We have Adam Woodward in hosting, and we got Jody Simpson competing right from this podcast. Plus,
barely competing. Let's be honest.
We got Mike O'Connor, a bit of a newcomer, who's been on some of our Star Trek Discovery podcasts. He'll be competing for the first time ever, going against these veterans in Jody and Chris.
Well, I don't know if Chris is a veteran.
Well, he's put in the time. He's just he's not successful.
He's an unsuccessful veteran.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yes. So I'm curious to see all this, how this all plays out. We're going to be doing a special Canada Day theme, like what movie has like best Canadian lead, and we got what Canadian team has the best sports fan base, yeah. And what should be the national dish of Canada. If you want to find that out, listen Sunday. And check out our show.
Well, if you want to hear horrible ideas.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Is Chris's answer as good as I expected to be?
Chris's answers are already in. I already know what some of them are.
Remember,
Even though he doesn't think I do.
We are judging this based on facts, passion, and creativity. And no one has more creativity than Chris when it comes to his answers. I
will give him that.
He severely lacks in facts.
Very much so.
I am looking forward to what he has to say. Based on his answer, it's going to be good.
Yeah,
I know Jody, 3 of the 6 answers.
And Jody's you're Jody. I'd say you're very like fact, but you're also very passionate too. So
I don't know if passion's the word, but I'm really good at talking over people.
Well, it's so passionate. So anyway. That's all of our shows and everything else we do. So thank you for listening to us and checking this out. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And thanks, Dad. Thanks, Jody. Thanks, Adam, for the show. We're going to sign off. And I'm going to go nurse my sore arm for my second dose. Okay. Thanks, everyone. And live long and podcast. Have a great night.